Absolutely devastating. I'm still in shock over it.
This East Mesa community near Chrisman and Baseline still grappling with the death of their neighbor, Elizabeth Bird.
Did you see police here?
Yes, yesterday evening, last night.
Court documents say police were called to the Bird family home Wednesday, a friend of the family alerting officers they hadn't heard from or seen Elizabeth, ultimately learning from the 43-year-old's oldest child, just 11, that his mom's door was locked. That child and his two younger siblings were at home, but Elizabeth's husband, John, had apparently been gone for hours. Police ultimately finding Elizabeth dead inside the bedroom. Later that night, tracking John down in a car over 15 miles away. Investigators say the 47-year-old told officers he was having mental issues and had gotten into an argument with Elizabeth early that morning when a switch just flipped. John allegedly telling police he strangled her.
I know that this family has 3 young kids.
Yes.
I mean, this is tragic. What are your thoughts to the family?
Bad for the kids. Now they're going to have no mother.
Some neighbors still in tears, not wanting to go on camera, many saying Elizabeth and her family were incredibly kind.
Seemed like a really nice guy when I met him. But when we found out the news yesterday evening, it was very shocking.
A few neighbors also mentioning to us John's work as a detective with the Maricopa County Attorney's Office. This write-up, posted in February 2023, says John was working for MCAO's Investigations Division in the Family Violence and Trial West Bureau. By now, he would have been in his 8th year, but court documents say John was on medical leave from work.
I don't care what happens in your life. Just stop and think before you do something.
A shocking confession tonight from a former detective in the Maricopa County Attorney's Office. He told police he strangled his wife to death. Tonight at 8, we have learned this former MCAO employee has been charged with second-degree murder.
We also have new information about him tonight from a former colleague and more details on what his confession means for the case moving forward. Our true crime correspondent Brianna Whitney joining us live with the latest. Interesting case here.
Yeah, this is a pretty wild story, not one we expected to be reporting today. This is a pretty unexpected, huge fall from grace for John Bird, who's focused much of his efforts as a detective in the county attorney's office, ironically, on domestic violence prevention. Now we're learning more about his background and who called police worried about his wife, Elizabeth Bird.
From a detective upholding the law and protecting victims to accused killer following a murder confession. It was a shock to those who knew and worked with John Bird. His former colleague telling us tonight, this demonstrates the hidden nature of domestic violence. You never know what happens behind a closed door. Court documents revealing Bird told police he had been struggling with mental health lately and a switch just flipped during an argument with his wife at their Mesa home Wednesday night, and he strangled her to death. He said he left her body in the bedroom and locked the door so their 3 young children wouldn't see.
I'm surprised that this individual even made a statement to the police.
Criminal defense attorney Russ Richelsoff, unaffiliated with the case, says typically if a law enforcement officer is charged with a crime, they immediately ask for a lawyer. His former colleague, not shocked Bird went the route he did given his background, saying, "I'm not surprised he confessed. He knew enough to know he was done." Police and family confirming the victim is Elizabeth Bird. According to police, Elizabeth's friend called police after she hadn't been heard from all day and missed a gym class. She also told police the couple's children hadn't heard from her either. Police then did a welfare check and found her in the room. Bird's former colleague saying tonight he was very passionate about helping crime victims seek justice. That's reflected in a write-up MCAO did last year during Black History Month, highlighting his dedication to helping domestic violence victims. Richelsoff says the fact Bird was on medical leave from work and talked about mental health issues will likely be a factor in the case going forward.
Guilt really isn't the issue. It's more an issue of, why did this happen? Can we explain this? Are there mitigating factors that would justify a reduced sentence? I would say that would be the case here based on what I'm reading.
He says John Bird's career heightens the public's interest in this case, expecting it to be high profile from beginning to end.
They want to know that the police who are in charge of enforcing the laws are abiding by the laws, and if they're not, that they're being held accountable.
Thanks for tuning in to It Be Like That, where any and everything is bound to happen because hell, it be like that. Subscribe.